Are you tired of feeling like life is slipping through your fingers? Missing out on opportunities? Living on autopilot without a clear purpose? It's time to pause, look within, and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism teaches us to take control of our actions, stop living according to others' expectations, and concentrate on personal growth. Stop wasting time on distractions, and start building a meaningful life filled with purpose and progress. In this video, you'll discover how a Stoic mindset can transform your life and help you regain control over your destiny. We'll explore 11 key Stoic lessons to help you stop wasting time and channel your energy into what truly matters. If you're new here, I'd love your support. Subscribe and like this video so I can keep creating content like this in the future. Let's begin. Focusing on yourself is a key to minimizing distractions. According to Stoicism, what you give your attention to shapes your reality. If your mind is constantly occupied with things beyond your control, you become a prisoner of circumstances and other people's opinions. However, by directing your energy towards self-improvement, you gain clarity and authority over your life. This approach not only helps eliminate the unnecessary, but also strengthens your connection to what truly matters, your purpose, values, and the path to a virtuous life. The first step in achieving this is dedicating time to self-care. Amidst the daily noise, finding moments to reflect and nurture your mind is essential. Simple practices like meditation, journaling, or reading inspiring texts can be transformative. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood this well. Each morning, he took time to write in his journal, reflecting on his principles and preparing for the day's challenges with wisdom and composure. This habit not only strengthens the mind, but also serves as a daily reminder of what is truly important. Personal growth requires identifying specific areas for improvement. This demands honesty and humility to recognize weaknesses, but also a commitment to moving forward. Perhaps you need to develop more discipline, improve relationships, or better manage your emotions. Regardless of the area, consistency is key. Stoicism teaches us that real change doesn't happen overnight. Instead, it's about taking small, deliberate steps every day. When you focus on yourself, something extraordinary happens. You free your mind from external influences. Criticism, judgment, and societal expectations lose their grip because your attention shifts to what you can control. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or becoming indifferent, but rather learning to filter what truly matters. Your decisions will no longer be driven by the need for approval, but by what aligns with your core values. This mental clarity enhances your problem-solving skills and ability to act effectively in any situation. The resilience you develop by prioritizing your growth is remarkable. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming now become opportunities for learning and development. This shift in perspective is fundamental to Stoicism. Life won't always be easy, but how you respond to difficulties is entirely in your hands. Ultimately, this process not only strengthens your relationship with yourself, but also with others. When you prioritize self-improvement, you become a better friend, partner, and leader. You inspire those around you, not by words, but through actions. People see in you a sense of inner strength that isn't dependent on external validation. This is the essence of a Stoic life. Living by your principles without unnecessary distractions, and serving as a beacon of clarity in a chaotic world. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish. It's the only way to be truly useful to others. Only when you are in control of your mind and your life can you contribute meaningfully to the world. By eliminating distractions and dedicating your energy to what truly matters, you build a life guided by reason, one that is not only more resilient but also deeply fulfilling. In a world overloaded with distractions, where social media and external opinions constantly fight for our attention, focusing on yourself is not just important, it's necessary. We live in an era where constant comparisons have become a norm, and people measure their worth based on external standards. However, Stoicism teaches us that this way of living pulls us away from our true essence and purpose. To find clarity and live with purpose, we must redirect our attention inward, where the tools for overcoming any challenge and achieving true peace already exist. The real issue lies in seeking external validation. When our identity and self-worth depend on others' opinions, we lose control over our own lives, becoming trapped in expectations we can never fully meet. Comparing yourself to others only puts you at a disadvantage. There will always be someone who appears more successful, happier, or more accomplished. But this perception is misleading. Every time you measure yourself against someone else, you waste valuable energy that could be invested in your own growth. The constant pursuit of external validation is an exhausting cycle that drains energy and keeps us stagnant. The solution starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of looking outward, Stoicism urges us to look within. Epictetus taught that we should not concern ourselves with what lies beyond our control. Our only responsibility is to refine our thoughts, actions, and character. Recognizing that every person has unique talents and challenges is essential. No one else has your exact circumstances, strengths, or struggles. Therefore, comparing yourself to others is pointless. Instead, true personal development comes from identifying your strengths and working on your weaknesses, knowing that you are building something meaningful and authentic. When you focus on yourself, your true potential is unlocked. The time and energy previously wasted on distractions are now channeled into your personal growth. You begin to uncover abilities you never realized you had and use them to move forward. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency, it becomes evident. By prioritizing self-improvement, you experience a deep sense of fulfillment that isn't dependent on material success or external validation. According to Stoic philosophy, true happiness comes from living in harmony with your values and acting accordingly. Not only does this improve your relationship with yourself, but also positively impacts the world around you. When you become more self-aware and centered, your influence extends to those around you. You inspire people not through words, but through action. Your inner peace radiates in your interactions, and your results reflect the deep commitment you have to yourself. Moreover, by letting go of comparisons, you free yourself from the pressure of competition. Instead, you begin to celebrate others' progress without diminishing your own. A person who focuses on themselves, not out of selfishness, but out of self-awareness, becomes a source of stability in an uncertain world. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish. It's essential for living a full and meaningful life. When you stop seeking external validation and commit to your personal growth, you become the true architect of your destiny. No matter how chaotic the world around you may be, you'll always have the power to find clarity and direction within yourself. This is the power of Stoicism, a life guided by principles, not opinions. By prioritizing self-development, you not only achieve personal fulfillment, but also contribute to the world in a truly meaningful way. We stop idealizing others and start seeing them as equals, with strengths and weaknesses similar to our own. Moreover, it is essential to define our own standards based on what we truly value. Instead of measuring our success by other people's rules, we should set our own goals and work towards achieving them. This focus gives us clarity and purpose, steering us away from external distractions. When we stop comparing ourselves, we experience a deep sense of freedom. We no longer carry the weight of social expectations and regain control over our lives. This new perspective allows us to focus on our personal progress, no matter how small or significant. Every step forward becomes a source of fulfillment because it aligns with our own goals, not someone else's. Freeing ourselves from social pressure also makes us more resilient to criticism and external judgments. We become less dependent on others' approval because we understand that what truly matters is our internal perception of progress and virtue. Comparisons steal our peace by disconnecting us from the present. They distract us with what others have, or do instead of allowing us to appreciate who we are and what we are building. When we focus on our personal growth and goals, we begin to live more authentically and satisfactorily. Stoicism reminds us that we do not control others' actions or achievements, but we can control our reaction to them. Instead of feeling envy or inadequacy, we can choose to be inspired or simply ignore what does not contribute to our growth. This shift in focus transforms not only our relationship with ourselves, but also with the world around us. When we concentrate on our development, we stop competing with others and start collaborating. We realize that we are not in a race, but on an individual journey. This understanding allows us to appreciate others' achievements without diminishing our own. Living this way frees us from unnecessary burdens and enables us to move forward with greater ease and confidence. In the end, True success is not measured by comparing ourselves to others, but by being true to ourselves and advancing toward our own goals. Let go of what no longer serves you. Throughout life, there are relationships, habits, and goals that once had a clear purpose. They helped us grow, overcome challenges, and find direction. However, there comes a point when they no longer fit the person we are becoming. Stoicism teaches us that holding on to what no longer serves us is not only useless, but also blocks our progress. When we insist on keeping what should be left behind, we carry an unnecessary burden that prevents us from moving forward. The problem arises when letting go feels difficult, whether due to fear, nostalgia, or the false belief that losing something means failure. We cling to relationships that no longer nurture us, to habits that drain our energy, and to goals that no longer align with our values. This attachment keeps us stuck in a cycle of stagnation, investing time and effort in something that no longer adds value. By doing so, we close the doors to new opportunities and experiences that could shape our lives. The fear of change is one of the biggest obstacles. However, according to Stoicism, we should not fear what is outside our control, but rather focus on how we respond to these changes. The solution lies in practicing conscious detachment. This does not mean abandoning everything impulsively, but rather honestly evaluating what still holds value in our lives. Epictetus taught that we must learn to let go, not with resentment, but with gratitude for what those experiences have given us. By releasing what no longer serves us, we create space for the new. It is like tending a garden. Removing what is withered allows new seeds to grow strong. Trusting the process is essential. Letting go may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary for our evolution. The uncertainty that comes with change is temporary, but the opportunities it brings are endless. When we finally release what no longer serves us, we undergo a profound transformation. We feel lighter, more energized, and clearer about where to direct our efforts. The space we create by letting go is filled with new experiences, relationships, and lessons that align with our current selves. Detachment not only frees us from unnecessary burdens, but also prepares us to face life with more flexibility and resilience. We learn to accept that change is a constant and that resisting this reality only causes suffering. Stoicism teaches that life is a continuous flow of transitions. Nothing is permanent, and embracing this truth allows us to move forward with greater ease. Letting go of what no longer serves us is an act of courage and wisdom. It requires trust that, by releasing, we do not become empty, but instead make room for what we truly need. Detachment is not indifference, but rather the recognition that life moves in cycles and that every ending is also a beginning. By embracing this mindset, we move forward with greater lightness and openness to a life that is more authentic and aligned with who we truly are. Change is not something to be feared, but an opportunity for renewal and growth. Arrival is not the end of the journey. Achieving a goal is a long-awaited moment for many, a milestone that represents effort and dedication. However, hidden within this moment of success lies a silent danger: complacency. Stoicism reminds us that life is not about reaching a final destination, but about continuously moving forward, growing, and facing new challenges. When we allow a single achievement to become our endpoint, we start to stagnate. What was once a moment of success can turn into the beginning of decline if we stop seeking ways to keep improving. The problem with believing we have arrived is that this mindset limits our potential. We become complacent, letting routine and inertia replace the effort and discipline that brought us here. Even worse, complacency makes us vulnerable to change because the world does not stop. Even if we do, the Stoics taught that life is a continuous flow. If we are not advancing, we are inevitably falling behind. Believing there is nothing more to achieve can cloud our judgment, diminish our ambition, and eventually lead to dissatisfaction, even with what we have already accomplished. The solution is to stay in motion, constantly seeking new challenges. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on how personal progress has no final point. Every goal reached should be seen as a step on the path, not the peak of the mountain. This does not mean living in perpetual dissatisfaction, but understanding that there is always more to learn, contribute, and build. The key is to set new goals aligned with our values and purpose. These goals do not have to be grand. Even small daily challenges can keep us focused and in constant growth. Seeking new challenges not only prevents stagnation, but also revitalizes our lives. We realize that it is not just about the final destination, but about who we become along the journey. This continuous cycle of growth maintains motivation and prepares us to face life's inevitable adversities. Every new challenge is an opportunity to strengthen our character, learn more about ourselves, and surpass our own limits. In this process, true success stops being a fixed destination and becomes a constant state of self-improvement. Stoicism teaches that success is not defined by a single moment of glory, but by the ability to persist and adapt over time. By accepting that arrival is not the end of the journey, we free ourselves from the illusion that success is something we achieve only once. Instead, we begin to understand that each accomplishment is part of a greater path, a path that has no end, because there will always be something new to explore. This new perspective allows us to appreciate each stage of the journey, understanding that life is not about reaching a final goal, but about continuous learning and growth. Life is a continuous journey, not a final destination. See life not as a stopping point, but as a starting point for something new. True success is not about reaching a destination, but embracing a continuous process of improvement. It is in this constant movement that we find purpose and fulfillment. The Stoics viewed life as an opportunity to grow in virtue, a journey toward becoming the best version of oneself. No matter how many goals you achieve, every accomplishment, every challenge overcome, and every lesson learned brings you closer to a meaningful and fulfilling life. When you understand this, you learn to embrace change, face uncertainty with courage, and maintain a constant state of progress, no matter where you are on your journey. Purpose as a driving force of life. Purpose is what gives direction and meaning to life. It is a driving force that makes you wake up every day with clarity about what you are doing and why you are doing it. When you live with purpose, even the smallest actions carry greater significance. On the other hand, without a clear purpose, it is easy to be swayed by external noise, the expectations of others, or the constant search for validation. Stoicism teaches that living without a defined purpose is like sailing a boat without a rudder. You drift aimlessly, at the mercy of external currents, instead of steering your life in the direction you truly desire. Without a clear purpose, it is common to fall into the trap of distractions, worrying too much about what others are doing, comparing your achievements to theirs, and questioning whether you're doing enough. This lack of direction makes it easy to feel lost, as if your efforts have no real impact or meaning. Furthermore, seeking meaning in external recognition leaves you dependent on something beyond your control, leading to frustration and anxiety. Instead of living in alignment with your true self, you act based on what others expect from you, pulling you further away from your real potential. The first step to finding purpose is deep introspection. Examine your talents, passions, and what genuinely moves you. The Stoics believe that each person has a unique role in the universe, a contribution that only they can make. It is not about finding a perfect or grandiose purpose, but rather aligning your actions with what you truly value. Ask yourself, what makes me feel fulfilled? How can I serve others? When this clarity is reached, your days stop being a disconnected sequence of actions and become meaningful steps towards something greater. Living with purpose does not mean everything will be easy or that you will always have absolute clarity. There will be days of doubt, moments of uncertainty, and unexpected challenges. However, with a well-defined purpose, difficulties become part of the journey rather than insurmountable obstacles. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen your commitment to yourself and what you are building. Additionally, when your purpose aligns with your values, external distractions lose their power. You stop worrying about others' opinions because you know you are investing in what truly matters to you. Valuing time as a limited resource. Time is the most valuable resource we have, yet it is the one we most often waste. Every second that passes cannot be recovered. Lost money can be earned again, but wasted time is irreplaceable. According to Stoicism, we must treat time as a precious asset, something that deserves our full attention and respect. However, we often give away carelessly to distractions, procrastination, and commitments that add no real value to our lives. Life is not infinite, and every moment wasted without purpose is a lost opportunity to experience it fully. Wasting time is one of the greatest mistakes we make. Often unconsciously, we get caught up in trivialities, allow others' urgencies to dictate our priorities, or follow the path of least resistance instead of focusing on what truly matters. Stoicism teaches us to take control of our time by focusing on what is essential. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have too little time, but that we waste much of it." If we allow distractions to dominate our days, we risk drifting aimlessly and losing the chance to live in alignment with our values. To truly value time, we must learn to prioritize. Not everything that seems urgent is important, and not everything that seems important deserves our energy. The tasks that significantly impact our long-term goals should take precedence over those that only provide short-term gratification. This requires discipline, as it is often tempting to focus on what is easier or more appealing at the moment. But without clarity on our priorities, time slips away into superficial activities, and by the end of the day, we realize we have not advanced in what truly matters. Being present in the moment is another key aspect of valuing time. Life happens here and now, yet our minds are often stuck in the past or projected into the future. Living this way makes us miss the richness of each instant. The Stoics practiced mindfulness, focusing on what was directly in front of them rather than worrying about what was beyond their control. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Act as if today were your last, for one day it will be." This mindset helps us direct our energy toward what truly matters and experience greater fulfillment in our daily actions. Valuing time also means learning to say no to commitments that do not align with our priorities, relationships that do not add value to our lives, and habits that do not contribute to our well-being. Saying no is an act of respect for ourselves and the time we have been given. It means recognizing that every minute counts and that we cannot afford to waste it on things that do not make sense. By setting clear boundaries, we not only protect our time, but also strengthen our ability to focus on what truly matters. Understanding that time is limited should not fill us with anxiety, but with determination. Each day is an opportunity to move closer to our goals, grow as individuals, and contribute meaningfully to the world around us. Living with this mindset transforms our relationship with time, allowing us to use it wisely and effectively. This does not mean filling every minute with frantic activity, but rather acting with intention, ensuring that each action reflects our priorities and values. Stoicism reminds us that life is short, but we can give it depth by living with purpose. When we learn to value time as a precious resource, we stop wasting on the trivial and begin investing it in what truly matters. In the end, it is not about how many years we live, but how we use each moment we are given. Focusing on what is important, being present, and acting with intention are the keys to making the most of time and living a full and meaningful life. Learning or developing new skills is another crucial aspect. One key principle is to start with small steps. The Stoics valued the idea of gradual progress. Seneca said that nothing great is achieved all at once, but through continuous small efforts. Trying to change too many things at the same time can be overwhelming and lead to failure. Instead, focus on one or two habits you can maintain consistently. If you want to read more, start with a few pages per day. If you want to meditate, begin with just a few minutes. These small steps are not only easier to manage, but also create a foundation for long-term habits. Tracking your progress allows you to recognize your growth and stay motivated. You can use an app, a calendar, or even a simple notebook to mark each day you follow through with your habit. This record not only gives you clarity about what you are doing, but also creates a sense of accomplishment, even on the hardest days. Additionally, celebrating small victories, no matter how minor they seem, strengthens your commitment and reinforces your progress. Acknowledging even the smallest step forward encourages you to keep going. The real benefit of building habits aligned with your goals is that they create a deep and lasting transformation. Consistent habits not only bring you closer to your objectives, but also reshape your identity. Each time you practice a positive habit, you reinforce the idea that you are someone committed to personal growth. If you meditate daily, you start seeing yourself as a more centered person. If you exercise regularly, you begin identifying as someone who values health. This internal transformation is what truly drives sustainable change. It is not just about achieving goals, but about becoming the person capable of reaching them. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and our habits are entirely in our hands. We cannot predict the future or control all circumstances, but we can decide how we act each day. By building habits that align with our goals, we ensure that our actions are guided by purpose rather than by randomness or momentary convenience. This process not only brings us closer to success, but also gives us a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. Building habits is an investment in the future, a discipline that, over time, turns into freedom. When we consistently do what is right, we reduce the need to make decisions all the time because our actions become automatic. This process does not happen overnight, but with patience and perseverance, results become inevitable. Ultimately, the habits we choose to cultivate define who we are and what we can achieve. The question is, are your habits working for you or against you? The answer is in your hands, and the time to start is now. Design your future. 5 years from now, you will be in a completely different place than you are today. The question is, will that future be the result of conscious decisions or of inertia and neglect? According to Stoicism, the future is not something that simply happens. It is something we build through our daily actions. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the direction of your life. If you do not consciously design your future, other factors, circumstances, external expectations, or your own indecision will decide for you. And when you leave your life to chance, you may end up in a place you never intended to be. Reflect on your current path and project your future results. Ask yourself honestly, where are my habit, decisions, and priorities leading me? If you continue doing exactly what you are doing today, where will you be in a few years? Many people find themselves in undesirable situations simply because they never take the time to analyze their direction. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, emphasize the importance of constant self-reflection to ensure we live according to our values rather than merely reacting to the world around us. Neglect is one of the greatest threats to a meaningful future. When we avoid responsibilities, postpone important tasks, or choose comfort over effort, we allow our lives to slowly fall apart. This decline does not only affect external results, such as achievements and relationships, but also damages self-esteem. Knowing that you are not doing your best weighs on your mind and creates a cycle of demotivation and apathy. Stoicism teaches that the key to breaking this cycle is to take disciplined action, even when we do not feel like it, even when the path is difficult. Taking action is the antidote to neglect and the foundation for building a conscious future. It means taking full responsibility for your life and understanding that, while you cannot change everything overnight, you can start now. You do not need massive steps. You need consistency. Small daily efforts, accumulated over time, lead to the most significant changes. Seneca said we should not wait for the future to give us what we want. We must work in the present to build it. Every day that you choose action over procrastination, progress over stagnation, is an investment in a better future. Stoicism also reminds us that there are no valid excuses for not starting. The future will arrive whether you like it or not, and the decisions you make today will determine whether you look back with pride or regret. If you allow excuses to take over, telling yourself you do not have time, that you're not ready, or that it is too late, you are surrendering your power to fear and laziness. But when you take control, when you consciously decide where you want to go and start working toward it, you become the architect of your own destiny. This process is not easy, but it is deeply liberating because you realize you have the power to change your life. Designing your future does not mean controlling every detail of what happens. There will always be external factors beyond your control. However, Stoicism teaches that it is not about what happens, but how you respond to it. When you work on yourself, cultivate habits, and take actions aligned with your goals, you build the resilience needed to face any challenge. You create a solid foundation that allows you to move forward regardless of circumstances. 5 years from now, you'll be the result of the choices you make today. Are you willing to take control and shape a future that reflects your values, dreams, and potential? Or will you allow neglect and inertia to lead you somewhere you never intended to go? The decision is in your hands, and the time to act is now. In the end, there is no greater satisfaction than looking back and knowing that the path you took was built with intention and purpose. Visualize your growth. A growth mindset is the driving force behind development in all areas of life. According to Stoicism, what truly matters is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. A growth mindset allows you to see both successes and failures not as final destinations, but as opportunities to learn and move forward. When you adopt this perspective, every experience, even the most challenging ones, becomes a stepping stone toward a better version of yourself. Instead of avoiding difficulties, you face them with a conviction that they provide fertile ground for growth. Challenges, whether great achievements or painful failures, are inevitable in life. However, what defines your path is how you use them. When you achieve great success, it is easy to fall into complacency and believe you no longer need to improve. But Stoicism teaches that success is not an endpoint, but a milestone in a continuous journey. If you stop growing, your success will begin to fade because nothing in life remains static. Marcus Aurelius said we should act in the present as if each day were a new life full of possibilities. This mindset helps maintain humility in success and resilience in failure. Personal growth must accompany professional, financial, and emotional progress. Otherwise, those aspects will start to decline. The skills and mindset that got you where you are today will not be enough to sustain your success or take you further. The world is constantly changing, and you must evolve with it.